God says, listen closely, my beloved soul. Not with urgency, not with worry, but with the quiet courage that already lives inside you. This message did not rush into your life by accident, and it does not arrive to disturb your peace. It arrives softly, like a steady hand on your shoulder, reminding you of a strength you sometimes forget you carry. Archangel Michael stands near you now, not as a warrior in battle, but as a guardian of calm, reassurance, and deep care. He speaks because you have been carrying much in silence, and heaven sees that weight clearly. There have been moments when you questioned yourself, not loudly, but in the quiet spaces between thoughts. You wondered if you were doing enough, if your patience mattered, if your steady effort was seen by anyone beyond yourself. This message comes to answer that unspoken question. You are seen. You are known. And more importantly, you are supported in ways that do not always announce themselves. Strength does not always roar, sometimes it breathes slowly and keeps going. Archangel Michael says this is not a season of fear. Fear has already tried to speak to you before, and you did not let it win. This is a season of trust, not blind trust, but grounded trust built from everything you have already survived. Think back, not to relive pain, but to recognize endurance. Every time you chose calm instead of chaos, patience instead of reaction, faith instead of bitterness, you were building something solid inside yourself. That foundation is why this message can reach you now. You may feel as though your journey has been quiet lately, as if nothing dramatic is happening. But heaven often works in stillness. Growth that lasts does not always make noise. Archangel Michael reminds you that inner strength is not measured by how much you can carry alone, but by how gently you learn to move forward without losing your heart. The calm you are learning is not weakness, it is mastery. There is a reassurance being placed over your thoughts right now. You do not need to rush answers. You do not need to force clarity. The path ahead is not demanding panic or perfection, it is inviting steadiness. Trust that what is meant for you recognizes your pace. Faith is not asking you to leap into the unknown, it is asking you to take the next honest step with confidence in who you are becoming. Archangel Michael speaks of protection that feels like peace rather than pressure. He speaks of guidance that arrives as understanding rather than command. You are being reminded that your value has never depended on proving yourself to the world. Your worth has always been intact, even in moments when you doubted it. This message comes to restore balance to your heart, not to add weight to your mind. As you listen, allow yourself to breathe without expectation. Let go of the need to predict outcomes. Inner strength grows strongest when it is not constantly tested by worry. You are allowed to rest in trust. You are allowed to believe that steady goodness accumulates. And you are allowed to feel calm without guilt, knowing that peace does not mean stagnation, it means alignment. This message found you because your spirit was ready to hear reassurance, not warning. Encouragement, not fear. Grounding, not urgency. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that you are not walking alone, even when your path feels personal and quiet. Strength has already been placed within you. Faith is already active. Trust is already forming. Stay with this calm. Let it settle. Nothing needs to be rushed in this moment. Heaven is patient with you, and so should you be with yourself. As this message continues to settle within you, Archangel Michael gently invites you to notice what has been quietly changing inside your heart. Not everything shifts loudly. Some of the most meaningful transformations happen without announcement, without applause, without anyone else noticing at first. You may feel the same on the outside, but inside, something has been softening, something has been aligning, something has been learning how to remain steady even when answers are not immediate. There were times when uncertainty tried to convince you that silence meant absence, that delays meant denial, that calm meant nothing was happening. But heaven does not measure progress the way the world does. Archangel Michael reminds you that patience is not emptiness, it is preparation. The pauses in your life were never wasted moments. They were spaces where strength was being shaped gently, where wisdom was settling quietly, where your spirit was learning how to stand without trembling. You have been learning to trust yourself again, even if you didn't realize it. Each time you chose not to react instantly, each time you paused before speaking, each time you listened more than you explained, you were strengthening an inner foundation that cannot easily be shaken. This message comes to affirm that growth. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where your understanding needed to mature. Archangel Michael speaks of balance returning to your thoughts. Not forced positivity, not denial of emotion, but a clearer awareness that emotions pass, situations evolve, and your core remains steady. You are allowed to feel without being overwhelmed. You are allowed to question without losing faith. True inner strength does not require you to be unbreakable, it teaches you how to recover gently without losing yourself. There is also a quiet reassurance about your path forward. You do not need to compare your journey with anyone else's. What unfolds for you unfolds in alignment with who you are, not who you are expected to be. The timing of your life has its own rhythm, and Archangel Michael encourages you to respect that rhythm instead of rushing it. What arrives too early cannot be held properly. What arrives at the right time feels natural, steady, and sustaining. You may notice that certain worries no longer cling to you the way they once did. That is not coincidence. It is evidence of inner strength forming. Faith is no longer something you force yourself to hold on to. It is becoming something that quietly holds you. Trust is no longer a question you wrestle with. It is becoming a place you return to when things feel unclear. Archangel Michael also speaks gently about rest, not just physical rest, but emotional rest. You are allowed to stop carrying every outcome in your mind. You are allowed to release the need to control every detail. Peace does not mean you have given up, it means you have learned where your responsibility ends and where trust begins. That understanding is wisdom, not weakness. As this message continues, let it remind you that your life does not need dramatic signs to be meaningful. Consistency, sincerity, patience, and quiet faith are powerful forces. You are building something lasting, even if it cannot yet be seen clearly. Inner strength grows strongest when it is rooted in calm understanding rather than constant urgency. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of that calm, reminding you that clarity often arrives gradually, like dawn, not suddenly like lightning. You are moving toward understanding, even on days when it feels slow. And that movement matters. Remain open. Remain grounded. This message continues because your spirit is listening, not because you are being tested, but because you are being strengthened. As this message unfolds further, Archangel Michael invites you to notice how your perspective has quietly evolved over time. There was a phase when every unanswered question felt heavy, when uncertainty demanded explanations immediately. Now, something within you has learned to sit with the unknown without panic. That is not accidental. That is inner strength forming its own language inside you. You are beginning to understand that clarity does not always arrive as an answer. Sometimes it arrives as peace even before the answer is known. You have walked through moments where you felt misunderstood, not because you were wrong, but because others could not yet see the depth you were carrying. Archangel Michael reminds you that depth often grows in silence. What you carry within you has matured quietly, shaped by patience, reflection, and resilience. You are not meant to explain yourself to everyone. Some understanding is meant to be recognized, not justified. There is also a gentle message here about self-trust. You may have doubted your instincts in the past, questioning whether your feelings were valid or whether you were overthinking. But slowly, you have learned the difference between intuition and fear. Intuition feels calm, even when it urges change. Fear feels urgent and restless. Archangel Michael encourages you to continue honoring the calm voice within you. That voice has been refined through experience, not impulse. You are also being reminded that healing does not mean erasing the past. Healing means integrating it without allowing it to define you. The things you have been through did not weaken you, they taught you how to stand with awareness. You no longer seek validation in the same way you once did. You no longer measure your worth by immediate outcomes. That shift is significant, even if it feels subtle. Archangel Michael speaks of alignment, not the kind that forces everything to fall into place instantly, but the kind that gently rearranges your priorities. What once felt urgent no longer demands your energy. What truly matters now feels quieter but stronger. This is how inner clarity grows. Not by adding more, but by simplifying what you carry. There may be moments when you wonder if you are doing enough, if you should be moving faster, if others are progressing while you remain still. This message reassures you that stillness is not stagnation. Sometimes stillness is where strength consolidates. A tree grows its deepest roots before it grows taller. You are in a phase where foundations are being reinforced, not rushed. Archangel Michael also reminds you that faith does not require certainty. Faith grows strongest when you continue forward even without full visibility. You are learning to trust the process without demanding proof at every step. That trust is not passive, it is grounded confidence. You are choosing steadiness over anxiety, understanding over reaction. Notice how your emotional responses have softened. You recover more quickly now. You reflect more deeply. You react less impulsively. These are signs of maturity, not distance. You are becoming more present, more aware, more anchored. This is the strength that lasts, the kind that does not depend on external reassurance. There is no pressure in this message, only affirmation. You are not being rushed into anything. You are being supported in becoming fully aligned with yourself. What is meant for you will meet you when you are ready to receive it with clarity, not confusion. Archangel Michael's presence here is not to alarm you, but to steady you. As you continue listening, let this understanding settle. You are allowed to move at the pace that feels true to your spirit. You are allowed to trust the quiet progress you cannot yet measure. Inner strength does not announce itself loudly, it reveals itself through calm endurance and gentle confidence. This message flows onward because your awareness is expanding, not because something is missing, but because something is being completed within you. As this message reaches its deeper layers, Archangel Michael invites you to pause within yourself and recognize how far your inner world has already traveled. There was a time when you searched outside for reassurance, clarity, and meaning, believing that answers would arrive only through signs, people, or circumstances. Now, without even realizing it, you have begun listening inward. That quiet listening is not emptiness. It is wisdom forming gently, without force. You are beginning to understand that peace is not the absence of movement, but the presence of alignment. Your life does not need to look dramatic to be meaningful. The calm you are cultivating is shaping decisions that will last longer than quick victories ever could. Archangel Michael affirms that the strength you are building now is sustainable, rooted, and deeply personal. It is not borrowed from expectations. It belongs to you. There is also a message here about release. Not release in the sense of loss, but release in the sense of trust. You no longer need to hold everything so tightly. You no longer need to replay conversations, outcomes, or possibilities in your mind. What is meant to stay will stay without force. What is meant to arrive will find its way without anxiety. This understanding is not weakness, it is mastery over your inner space. You may notice that your reactions to life are changing. Situations that once unsettled you now invite reflection instead of resistance. This shift did not happen overnight. It came from choosing awareness over overwhelm, again and again, even when no one noticed. Archangel Michael honors this quiet discipline. It is rare, and it is powerful. Your journey has taught you discernment. You now recognize the difference between noise and truth, between urgency and importance. You no longer feel compelled to prove your growth. You live it. You no longer rush to explain your path. You walk it with calm confidence. This is inner authority, the kind that does not demand recognition because it is already settled within. There is a gentle reassurance here regarding timing. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing something that others have found. Your path is unfolding at the exact pace required for your understanding to deepen without pressure. Archangel Michael reminds you that rushing clarity only creates confusion, but allowing clarity to arrive naturally creates peace. You are also learning compassion, not only for others, but for yourself. You are softer with your own mistakes, more patient with your own process. This self-compassion is not indulgence, it is healing intelligence. It allows you to grow without self-judgment, to evolve without self-rejection. That is why your energy feels different now. More grounded, more sincere, more steady. This message carries no demand. There is nothing you must do immediately. There is only something you are becoming. And becoming does not need announcements. It needs presence. Every moment you choose calm awareness over fear, you are reinforcing the life you are meant to live. Archangel Michael speaks of trust, not blind trust, but conscious trust. Trust that you are capable of navigating what comes next. Trust that your inner compass has been refined through experience. Trust that clarity will meet you when you need it, not before, not after. You are prepared in ways you may not yet see. As this message settles, allow yourself to breathe more freely. You do not need to search for signs anymore. The sign is the steadiness you feel right now. The understanding you carry. The quiet certainty that you are exactly where you need to be to move forward with grace. This is not an ending. It is a completion of a cycle of inner resistance. From here, movement becomes lighter. Decisions become clearer. Faith becomes quieter, but stronger. And peace becomes something you carry, not something you chase. Let this message rest within you. Let it guide without pushing. Let it remind you that strength does not shout. It stays. It listens. It endures. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to support this space. Like this message, share it with someone who may need calm guidance. Comment what this message made you reflect on, and subscribe for more messages that speak to the heart with clarity and peace.